Build the Life You Want by Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey is a profound exploration of happiness that merges scientific insights with personal narratives. The book focuses on practical strategies for achieving a more joyful and fulfilling life. Through a combination of research findings and life experiences, the authors guide readers in understanding that happiness is not a goal to be achieved, but a direction to be pursued. Main concepts: happiness against positive emotions. The authors distinguish between happiness and positive emotions. Happiness is defined as a long-term state, influenced by factors like satisfaction and purpose, while positive emotions are fleeting feelings that arise from specific situations. This distinction is crucial. It encourages individuals to seek lasting fulfillment instead of chasing temporary highs. Example: a person may feel joy from a promotion at work, but true happiness comes from finding purpose in their career and feeling content with their achievements over time. The role of metacognition. Metacognition, or thinking about thinking, is a key concept in the book. It involves being aware of and managing one's emotions, rather than letting them dictate behavior. This self-awareness allows individuals to respond to situations more thoughtfully. Example: during a stressful situation, instead of reacting with anger, a person practicing metacognition might take a step back to assess their feelings and choose a more constructive response, such as discussing the issue calmly. Choosing better emotions. The authors emphasize that individuals can choose their emotional responses. Rather than being governed by immediate feelings, one can substitute negative emotions with more constructive ones. This technique requires practice but leads to better overall emotional management. Example: when faced with disappointment, instead of dwelling on negative feelings, one could consciously choose to focus on gratitude for past successes or the lessons learned from the experience. Building meaningful relationships. Brooks and Winfrey underline the importance of relationships in achieving happiness. They encourage readers to cultivate deep connections with family and friends, as these relationships provide support, joy, and a sense of belonging. Example: consider someone who invests time in nurturing friendships, attending gatherings, and being present for loved ones. This effort can lead to a more fulfilling life as social bonds deepen, offering emotional support during challenging times. The significance of purpose. A sense of purpose is identified as a critical component of happiness. The authors advocate for finding and pursuing meaningful work, volunteer opportunities, or personal passions that align with individual values. Example: a retired individual might find happiness not in leisure activities alone, but by volunteering at a local shelter, thereby contributing to the community and finding fulfillment in helping others. Embracing unhappiness. Contrary to the notion that unhappiness should be avoided, the authors argue that it can be a source of growth and learning. Recognizing the value of negative experiences can lead to resilience and a deeper understanding of oneself. Example: a person who experiences a setback, such as a job loss, can reflect on the experience to identify personal strengths and weaknesses, ultimately using those insights to pursue a more suitable career path. Practical strategies for happiness. The book offers various practical exercises and techniques to enhance happiness. These include gratitude journaling. Regularly noting things for which one is grateful can shift focus from negative to positive aspects of life. Mindfulness practices. Engaging in mindfulness meditation can improve emotional regulation and increase awareness of one's thoughts and feelings. Setting intentions. Establishing clear intentions for daily activities can help align actions with personal values and goals, fostering a sense of purpose. The importance of grace and forgiveness. The authors highlight the role of grace and forgiveness in personal relationships. Letting go of grudges and past resentments can free individuals from emotional burdens, allowing for greater happiness. Example: someone who has been wronged by a friend might choose to forgive, which can lead to healing and the possibility of rekindling the friendship. Creating a supportive environment. The book discusses the significance of one's environment in shaping happiness. Surrounding oneself with positive influences, such as supportive friends and inspiring literature, can bolster emotional well-being. Example: a person might create a space filled with uplifting quotes and images that remind them of their goals and values, reinforcing a positive mindset. Lifelong learning and adaptability. The authors stress the importance of continuous learning and adapting to change. Embracing new experiences and knowledge can enhance resilience and lead to personal growth. Example: an individual who takes up a new hobby or pursues further education can experience increased satisfaction and purpose, contributing to overall happiness. Chapter 1: Happiness is not the goal, and unhappiness is not the enemy. In the opening chapter, Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey challenge the conventional notion of happiness. They assert that happiness is often misinterpreted as a fixed goal or destination, a misconception that leads to frustration and dissatisfaction. Instead, they present happiness as a direction to be navigated rather than a fixed point to reach. The authors emphasize that life is inherently filled with both positive and negative experiences, and it's essential to acknowledge this duality. Key ideas. Understanding happiness. The authors argue that happiness cannot be defined merely as the absence of unhappiness. It consists of multiple dimensions: enjoyment, satisfaction, and purpose. They encourage readers to view happiness as a fluid state, shaped by experiences and choices. Example: when people say they want to be happy, they often think of specific outcomes, such as financial success or physical appearance. However, true happiness comes from deeper connections and meaningful pursuits rather than superficial achievements. The role of unhappiness. Brooks and Winfrey suggest that unhappiness is not an enemy, but a natural part of the human experience. It can lead to personal growth and deeper understanding. The authors encourage readers to embrace their negative emotions rather than suppress them. Example: consider someone who has faced a significant loss. Instead of avoiding the grief, they can allow themselves to feel the sadness, reflecting on what they learned from the experience and how it can shape their future. The happiness set point. The chapter discusses the concept of a happiness set point, which refers to the baseline level of happiness that individuals tend to return to over time. While genetics and life circumstances influence this set point, it can be adjusted through conscious efforts and practices. Example: research shows that people can improve their happiness levels through intentional actions like practicing gratitude, fostering relationships, and engaging in meaningful activities. Actionable insights. The authors provide actionable insights to help readers navigate their happiness journey. Recognize the duality of experiences. Understand that both joy and sorrow contribute to a rich life. Practice self-reflection. Regularly assess your feelings and thoughts to identify areas for growth. Engage in meaningful activities. Prioritize actions that align with your core values and contribute to your sense of purpose. Chapter 2: The Power of Metacognition. In Chapter 2, Brooks and Winfrey delve into the concept of metacognition, or thinking about thinking. This chapter highlights the importance of self-awareness and emotional management in enhancing happiness. By practicing metacognition, individuals can gain better control over their emotional responses and make more thoughtful decisions. Key ideas. Definition and importance of metacognition. Metacognition refers to the ability to monitor one's cognitive processes, including thoughts and emotions. The authors argue that developing this skill is essential for emotional resilience and improved decision-making. Example: when faced with stress, a person practicing metacognition can recognize their anxious thoughts and reframe them to a more constructive perspective. The emotional weather metaphor. The authors use the metaphor of weather to explain how emotions work. Just as weather patterns can change, so can emotional states. Acknowledging that emotions are temporary and manageable allows individuals to respond more effectively. Example: if someone experiences a period of sadness, recognizing it as a cloudy day rather than a permanent state can help them navigate through it more easily, understanding that the sunshine of happiness will return. Strategies for practicing metacognition. Mindfulness. Being present and aware of one's thoughts without judgment helps in recognizing emotional patterns. This awareness paves the way for better emotional regulation. Journaling, writing down thoughts and feelings can clarify emotions and provide insights into one's mental processes. This practice encourages self-reflection and growth. Emotional labeling, identifying and naming emotions can reduce their intensity and provide clarity, making it easier to manage responses. Example: if someone feels overwhelmed, they might write in their journal, "I feel anxious about my upcoming presentation." By labeling the emotion, they can then explore why they feel that way and develop a plan to address it. Decision-making and emotional control. The authors emphasize that metacognition leads to better decision-making because it allows individuals to separate their feelings from their actions. By pausing and reflecting, people can choose responses that align with their values rather than reacting impulsively. Example, in a heated argument, instead of reacting with anger, someone practicing metacognition might take a moment to breathe and consider their partner's perspective, leading to a more constructive conversation. Cultivating metacognitive skills, the chapter concludes with practical exercises to help readers enhance their metacognitive abilities. Daily check-ins. Set aside time each day to reflect on your emotions and decisions, assessing what worked and what didn't. Mindfulness practices. Engage in mindfulness meditation or breathing exercises to increase awareness of thoughts and feelings. Seek feedback. Discuss your thought processes with trusted friends or mentors to gain external perspectives and insights. Chapter 3. Choose a Better Emotion. In Chapter 3, Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey explore the concept of emotional choice, emphasizing that individuals have the power to select their emotional responses to various situations. The authors argue that while we cannot always control the emotions we feel, we can choose how we react to them. This chapter provides actionable insights on how to navigate emotional landscapes effectively and highlights the importance of reframing negative emotions into more constructive ones. Key ideas. The concept of emotional choice. The authors introduce the idea that emotions are not solely reactions to external circumstances, but rather responses that can be managed and modified. By recognizing this power, individuals can improve their emotional well-being. Example, when faced with criticism at work, instead of feeling defensive and angry, a person can choose to feel curious about the feedback and see it as an opportunity for growth. Reframing negative emotions. Brooks and Winfrey provide techniques for reframing negative emotions. This involves consciously altering one's perspective on an emotional experience to find a more positive or constructive viewpoint. Example, if someone feels anxiety about an upcoming event, they can reframe that anxiety as excitement, focusing on the opportunities for connection and learning rather than the fear of failure. The role of language in emotional choice. The authors highlight how the language we use to describe our emotions significantly affects how we experience them. Using empowering language can shift one's mindset and emotional state. Example, instead of saying, "I am stressed," one might say, "I am facing a challenge." This subtle change in wording can help one approach the situation with a more positive attitude. Practical strategies for choosing emotions. The chapter concludes with several strategies to help readers cultivate the habit of choosing better emotions. Practice gratitude. Regularly acknowledging what one is grateful for can shift focus from negative feelings to positive ones. Mindfulness and meditation. Engaging in mindfulness practices can help individuals become more aware of their emotional responses and make conscious choices. Positive visualization. Imagining positive outcomes in challenging situations can help reframe the accompanying emotions. Chapter 4. Focus less on yourself. In Chapter 4, the authors discuss the importance of shifting focus away from oneself to cultivate deeper connections and enhance overall happiness. They argue that self-centeredness can lead to feelings of isolation and dissatisfaction, while focusing on others and contributing to the community fosters a sense of belonging and joy. Key ideas. The dangers of self-centeredness. The authors explain that an excessive focus on oneself can be detrimental to emotional well-being. It often leads to a cycle of overthinking, anxiety, and unhappiness. By shifting the focus outward, individuals can break this cycle. Example, someone who constantly worries about their appearance may experience increased anxiety and dissatisfaction. Redirecting that focus towards helping others, such as volunteering, can provide fulfillment and reduce self-consciousness. The importance of connection. Brooks and Winfrey emphasize that human beings are inherently social creatures. Building strong, meaningful connections with others is vital for happiness. They encourage readers to invest in relationships and community. Example, participating in group activities, such as joining a club or attending community events, can enhance feelings of connectedness and reduce feelings of loneliness. Acts of service and kindness. The authors advocate for engaging in acts of service as a way to foster happiness. Helping others not only benefits the recipients but also boosts the emotional well-being of the giver. Example, A person who volunteers at a local shelter may find that the joy and gratitude expressed by those they help lead to a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment in their own life. Creating a culture of connection. The chapter suggests that individuals can create a culture of connection in their own lives by prioritizing relationships over self-interest. This mindset shift can lead to increased happiness and resilience. Example: regularly reaching out to friends and family, actively listening, and being present in conversations can foster deeper connections and a sense of belonging. Practical steps to focus less on yourself. Engage in active listening. Make a conscious effort to listen to others without planning your response while they speak. Volunteer. Find opportunities to help others in your community, whether through formal volunteering or informal acts of kindness. Practice empathy. Make an effort to understand others' feelings and perspectives, fostering deeper relationships. Chapter 5. The Importance of Meaning and Purpose. In Chapter 5, Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey delve into the concept of meaning and purpose, highlighting their crucial roles in achieving lasting happiness. The authors argue that while positive emotions are important, they are often fleeting, whereas a sense of meaning and purpose provides a deeper, more sustainable foundation for emotional well-being. Key ideas. Defining meaning and purpose. The chapter begins by defining meaning as the understanding of one's life in the context of something greater than oneself. Purpose, on the other hand, is the commitment to pursue that meaning through actions and goals. Example: an individual who finds meaning in helping others might pursue a career in social work or volunteer at a local nonprofit, thereby aligning their actions with their values. The connection between purpose and happiness. Brooks and Winfrey present research showing that individuals with a clear sense of purpose report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. This sense of direction helps them navigate challenges more effectively. Example: a retired individual who volunteers regularly may feel a renewed sense of purpose, leading to increased happiness compared to someone who solely focuses on leisure activities. Finding your purpose. The authors provide guidance on how to discover one's purpose. They suggest reflective practices, such as asking oneself what brings joy and fulfillment, and considering how one can contribute to the world. Example: someone might reflect on their passions, such as art or teaching, and explore ways to incorporate these interests into their daily lives, whether through community classes or personal projects. The role of community and relationships. Brooks and Winfrey emphasize that purpose is often found in connection with others. Building relationships and engaging in community activities can enhance one's sense of purpose. Example: joining a local environmental group to work on community sustainability projects can provide both a sense of belonging and a meaningful contribution, enriching one's life. Practical steps to cultivate meaning. The chapter concludes with actionable steps for readers to identify and cultivate their sense of meaning and purpose. Reflect on values. Take time to identify personal values and how they can guide life choices. Set meaningful goals. Establish goals that align with personal passions and values, focusing on long-term fulfillment rather than short-term gains. Engage in service. Seek opportunities to serve others, as altruism can lead to a deeper sense of purpose. Chapter 6. The Importance of Resilience. In Chapter 6, the authors discuss resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity and maintain a positive outlook despite challenges. They argue that resilience is a key component of happiness and can be cultivated through specific practices and mindset shifts. Key ideas. Understanding resilience. Brooks and Winfrey define resilience as not merely enduring hardships but thriving in the face of them. Resilient individuals are better equipped to handle stress and recover from setbacks. Example: a student who fails an exam but uses the experience to identify weaknesses and develop a study plan demonstrates resilience by learning and improving rather than giving up. The role of mindset. The authors emphasize the significance of having a growth mindset, believing that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset fosters resilience. Example: an employee who views constructive criticism as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack is more likely to improve and succeed in their career. Strategies for building resilience. Brooks and Winfrey provide practical strategies for developing resilience. Embrace challenges. Approach challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to avoid. Cultivate a support network. Surround oneself with supportive friends and family who can provide encouragement during difficult times. Practice self-compassion. Treat oneself with kindness during failures or setbacks, recognizing that everyone experiences difficulties. Example: engaging in self-compassion might involve acknowledging feelings of disappointment after a setback, while reminding oneself that everyone faces challenges and that it's a part of growth. The power of perspective. The authors discuss the importance of perspective in resilience. Viewing situations through a lens of optimism and possibility can transform one's ability to cope with difficulty. Example: after losing a job, someone with a resilient perspective might view the situation as a chance to explore new career paths or develop new skills, rather than seeing it solely as a loss. Practical exercises for building resilience. The chapter concludes with exercises aimed at helping readers build their resilience. Journaling. Reflect on past challenges and how they were overcome, noting the lessons learned. Gratitude practice. Regularly express gratitude for the positive aspects of life, which can help shift focus away from difficulties. Setbacks as learning opportunities. Reframe setbacks as chances to learn and grow, bolstering one's resilience over time. Chapter 7. The Power of Forgiveness. In Chapter 7, Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey explore the transformative power of forgiveness, highlighting its crucial role in achieving emotional well-being and happiness. The authors argue that holding on to grudges and resentment not only affects personal happiness, but also hinders relationships and overall life satisfaction. Key ideas. Understanding forgiveness. The chapter begins by defining forgiveness not as an endorsement of wrongdoing, but as a conscious decision to let go of resentment and negative emotions associated with past hurts. This process is essential for emotional healing and personal growth. Example: someone who has been wronged by a friend may initially feel anger and betrayal. However, choosing to forgive that friend does not mean forgetting the incident. It means releasing the hold that anger has on their emotional state. The psychological benefits of forgiveness. Brooks and Winfrey present research showing that forgiveness is linked to better mental health outcomes, including reduced anxiety, depression, and stress. Letting go of grudges can lead to increased feelings of peace and happiness. Example: a study might reveal that participants who actively engage in forgiveness practices report lower levels of stress and greater life satisfaction compared to those who hold on to resentments. Forgiveness. As a process, the authors emphasize that forgiveness is often a gradual process rather than a one-time event. It involves several stages, including acknowledgement of hurt, reflection on the impact, and ultimately choosing to forgive. Example: a person might start by recognizing their feelings of hurt and anger, then reflect on how holding on to those feelings affects their life. Finally, they can consciously decide to forgive, allowing themselves to move forward. Practical steps to cultivate forgiveness. The chapter provides actionable strategies for readers to practice forgiveness. Reflect on the benefits. Consider how holding on to resentment affects your life negatively, and visualize the peace that forgiveness can bring. Express feelings. Write a letter to the person who hurt you to articulate your feelings and begin the healing process. Practice self-forgiveness. Acknowledge and forgive yourself for past mistakes, recognizing that everyone makes errors and that growth comes from learning. Chapter 8. The Importance of Grace. In Chapter 8, Brooks and Winfrey discuss the concept of grace, which they define as the ability to extend kindness, understanding, and compassion to oneself and others, especially in times of difficulty. The authors argue that grace is essential for nurturing relationships and enhancing overall happiness. Key ideas. Defining grace. The authors explain that grace involves recognizing the inherent humanity in oneself and others. It allows individuals to respond to challenges and mistakes with compassion rather than judgment. Example: when a colleague makes a mistake at work, instead of reacting with frustration, a person practicing grace might offer support and assistance, understanding that everyone makes errors. The impact of grace on relationships. Brooks and Winfrey emphasize that grace can significantly improve interpersonal relationships. By extending grace to others, individuals create an environment of trust and understanding, which fosters deeper connections. Example: a parent who practices grace with their child after a disappointing report card may encourage open communication, allowing the child to feel safe discussing their struggles rather than fearing punishment. Self-grace. The authors stress the importance of extending grace to oneself. Many individuals are their harshest critics, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Practicing self-grace involves treating oneself with the same compassion and understanding one would offer a friend. Example: after facing a setback, instead of berating themselves for perceived failures, a person can practice self-grace by acknowledging their efforts and allowing themselves to learn from the experience. Cultivating a culture of grace. The chapter concludes with strategies for fostering grace in everyday life. Mindful responses. When faced with challenging situations, pause to consider how to respond with kindness rather than reacting impulsively. Encourage open dialogue. Create spaces for honest communication in relationships, where mistakes can be discussed without fear of judgment. Daily acts of kindness. Engage in small acts of kindness toward others, reinforcing the practice of grace in daily interactions. In the final chapter of Build the Life You Want, titled Now Become the Teacher, Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey emphasize the importance of sharing the knowledge and insights gained throughout the book. They call upon readers not only to implement the principles of happiness, resilience, forgiveness, and grace in their own lives, but also to take on the role of teachers and mentors for others. This chapter encapsulates the essence of the previous chapters while providing a framework for spreading these valuable lessons to enhance collective well-being. Key ideas. The ripple effect of teaching. Brooks and Winfrey argue that sharing knowledge has a powerful ripple effect. When individuals teach others about happiness and emotional well-being, they not only reinforce their understanding, but also inspire and uplift those around them. This collective growth can lead to a more compassionate and connected society. Example: a person who practices gratitude and shares their experiences with friends or family can inspire others to adopt similar practices, ultimately creating a culture of positivity and appreciation within their community. The role of mentorship. The authors highlight the importance of mentorship in personal and professional contexts. By mentoring others, individuals can guide them through challenges, share valuable life lessons, and foster resilience in the next generation. Example: a seasoned professional might take on a mentee at work, providing guidance on navigating workplace dynamics, stress management, and personal development, thereby instilling resilience and purpose in the younger individual. Living as an example. Brooks and Winfrey encourage readers to embody the principles discussed in the book. Living authentically and demonstrating emotional intelligence, forgiveness, and grace not only enhances one's own life, but also serves as a powerful example for others to follow. Example: a parent who openly practices self-grace in front of their children can teach them about self-compassion, showing that it's okay to make mistakes and learn from them. Creating community. The chapter stresses the importance of building communities that prioritize emotional well-being. By coming together to share ideas, support one another, and engage in collective practices, individuals can foster an environment where happiness and resilience flourish. Example: organizing community workshops or support groups that focus on mindfulness, gratitude practices, or emotional resilience can create a supportive network that benefits all participants. Action steps. For becoming a teacher, the authors provide practical steps for readers to begin their journey as teachers and mentors. Share your story. Open up about your experiences with happiness, challenges, and the lessons learned. Personal stories can resonate deeply with others and inspire change. Encourage discussions. Initiate conversations about emotional well-being with friends and family, creating a safe space for sharing thoughts and experiences. Lead by example. Model the behaviors and attitudes you wish to see in others, reinforcing the principles of happiness and resilience through your own actions. The ongoing journey. Finally, Brooks and Winfrey remind readers that the journey to happiness and emotional well-being is ongoing. There will always be opportunities to learn, grow, and teach. Embracing this lifelong journey allows individuals to continuously evolve and inspire others along the way. Example: someone who has mastered mindfulness practices can continue to learn about new techniques and share them with others, keeping the cycle of learning and teaching alive. The conclusion of Build the Life You Want serves as a powerful call to action for readers to not only apply the lessons of happiness, forgiveness, grace, and resilience in their own lives, but also to share these insights with others. By becoming teachers and mentors, individuals can create a positive ripple effect in their communities, enhancing collective emotional well-being. The authors emphasize that this journey is ongoing, encouraging readers to embrace their roles as lifelong learners and educators.